Hi, and welcome back to SDI Coffee Break. Again, we're with Turchin from PeopleReign. Hi, Dan.
Good to be here. Hey, David.
Great to have you. No coffee, Dan. Didn't see coffee.
Earl Grey.
Was it tea? Was it? Did you? I did. If you had a tea in between, that must have been a fast cup of tea. But I haven't seen a cup of tea. So if you want one, you can get one, or we'll just crack on.
Well, it's beer o'clock for you. It's tea time for me. So I'm waiting to see the pint glass there.
Yeah, and if you think of that algorithm, right, being developed right here, you know what I mean? Wow, man, wow. That's good. Anyway, good. So let's maybe we'll probably finish on this round of vlogs maybe here. And I think you mentioned when we talked. I see this as a teaser into more stuff, right? Because this is an evolving story. It's going to be with us for a long time. So I think this is just an opening door, right? Let's talk about how this AI technology is going to affect and impact and change what service desk is. We talked about it, didn't we, in the last one? I've been waiting for this for years, this really, honestly, but for years to see how this changes what we are as a proposition. The move away from that break, fix, reactive into something else, right? How do you think it's going to change the service desk as a proposition over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years?
It is changing the service desk as we speak. Organizations are starting to realize that all of the ability to make good decisions is locked up in historical data. It's locked up in knowledge content. It's locked up in historical emails. It's locked up in chat transcripts. And this idea to be able to turn all of that kind of latent knowledge, collecting dust in a virtual cupboard somewhere, to extract the best answers, and at the moment of truth, when an employee needs help, to be able to bring the best answers to bear in the form of a pop-up, a quick suggestion, a recommendation. I referred to it earlier as a treasure map for the agent, the live agent, so that the live agent can be assisted by technology, but so that they can do what live agents do best, which is empathize, exercise rational judgment, be a thinker, care about the employee's problem. That's the fusion of humans and machines that is happening right now, and you're going to see accelerate in the coming years.
Well, I think what interests me, when you're working in a service desk environment, and I've spoken to many guys that have been in there for years. They love doing it, and it's a great place to work. It's not the easiest place to work. We know that. It's a tough place to work, but it can be a very rewarding place to work. So we know we know that the infrastructure. We've got our own sort of knowledge that we've stored in our own knowledge encyclopedia. We've got knowledge that is shared. We've got tools. We've got processes. We know ICL, right? If I'm that guy that's been there for maybe 10, 15, 20 years in that role, what am I going to have to do to adapt to this new environment? Am I, for all intents and purposes, the old, or will I be able to adapt to what's coming, what's here, maybe?
History tells a consistent story. It's that as workers, we don't want to be on the wrong side of technology. And whether it's the 18th century and the Luddites, the machine breakers in started in England in the Midlands,
it's true.
Or call it when mass production happened, the rise of factories in the automobile industry, or when desktop computing started to replace the client server pattern, or when cloud disrupted on-prem, or mobile disrupted traditional PCs. These are all cataclysmic technology shifts, and certainly any employee who felt like that's not for me, that's technology that I'm scared of, quickly learned that it's not the side of history you want to be on. And so similarly, I'd say the most progressive, most successful organizations and service desk agents are the ones that are embracing kind of, call it, the fourth industrial revolution. We don't look up facts in a paper encyclopedia anymore, because we have Wikipedia and we have Alexa and Siri, and we have better tools. So likewise, when we're assisting customers in the resolution of common IT, HR, et cetera, kinds of issues, the smart service desk agents are realizing that they want to be augmented by some of these new technologies.
Yeah. I think for some, it'll probably be quite that relinquishing some of that control around their knowledge. It's going to be tough. Yeah, I've seen that without this technology. So it's going to be interesting. And certainly, if you look at us, SDI specifically, we're sort of there to try and make that happen more effectively and that transition easier as well. This is why we're doing this type of stuff then, right? It's interesting as well. When I was looking at this before to do some presentation, I just looked at some jobs that had gone. You mentioned the last century and stuff. I looked at some of the jobs that had disappeared. And it's amazing how technology's changed jobs. Now, jobs have changed and people have reskilled. There was something in the UK called a knocker-upper, right? And the knocker-upper used to work as somebody who woke people up to go to the mills. They would tap on the windows to wake people up to go to work. And what happened? They invented the alarm clock. And there's a whole host of these jobs that have changed. The move away from, as you said, into the combustion engine, Model T Ford, the move from skills from a farrier, somebody who looked after horses, reshoed, into the skills from a mechanic. And I think that these things are transferable. The reskilling program, and I'm big on the responsibility, not of organizations, of governments. It's a global responsibility in reskilling. I'm really big on that agenda. And organizations like us as well, to make sure that there is absolutely clear definition of what skills are required and what you need to be part of that. I do a lot of research, a lot of digging into what some people term softer skills. And when you think of soft skills, you think of empathy, you think of, politeness, and it is, but it isn't as well, when you think of creativity, the amount of room that this technology can help when people are thinking about problem-solving skills, creativity, but relationship management. And I really see that as seismic shift away from the last industrial revolution, the industrialized sort of factory and the control and the governance of what you are, what you do, and how we will judge you on what you do, to something else, So I cannot wait for this to become that pervasive thing you mentioned earlier. Can't wait. Dan, I think we're going to close on that one, if that's okay. Is there anything that you want to bring up maybe that we haven't covered off in these sessions? I don't know, something amazing. What do you do? What are you doing in PeopleReign right now? What are you doing with some of the stuff you're doing? How is that? How is everything changing the next generation of service?
So we're committed to making sure that we're a good steward of some of the things that we've been talking about today. We practice responsible AI. We want to see every organization benefit from AI. We really want to see every employee and every service desk agent be benefited by the augmentation of their intelligence. We do feel strongly that now and into the future, what can be predicted is best left to machines. But anything that requires intuition or judgment is and always will be better left to humans. So we're incredibly optimistic about the path forward for technology because we think it's going to make us all the best versions of humans that we can be. That's really the philosophy behind PeopleReign. Technology is great, but people do and always will reign like the reign of a queen.
Yeah. And I think that is superb. I think the stewardship stuff, I think since we've met and talked, man, we talk a very similar language, right? And although I'm recording, I'm going to send you a blog I wrote about some of that in relation to stewardship and customer service, right? And I'd like your feedback as well. And I think augmented intelligence makes so much more sense than artificial intelligence. It just makes so much more sense.
I love that you brought up reskilling. So that's a passion of mine. And I think it starts with elementary education, STEM education.
Yeah.
I really think, a lot of what we teach kids in schools is antiquated.
Yeah, and I totally agree. The structure's ancient. I was talking about this yesterday. The structure is absolutely ancient. And I think if we're in a situation where this makes us more agile, more faster, we need skills and use skills in different ways. But it's been great. Thank you, Dan. Really appreciate it.
This is great. I really enjoyed it. You did a good job of keeping it interesting. It wasn't, I want to make sure it wasn't an advertisement and it wasn't just something, you can read from a data sheet. I think we started the discussion about the things that people really should be considering.
I agree. And I think there's more to come as well. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing some of that.
It's fun.
To our listeners as well for listening. And keep an eye out, listeners, for more of this type of stuff from SDI, because we are starting to push the AI agenda a lot more aggressively, and we'll be doing over the next sort of months and years as well. So thank you very much, Dan, and we'll see you very soon.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Goodbye.